The first one that we talk about is the subject line. Who the email's from, the subject line and the preview text. And so if I see Andrew has sent me an email, I'll usually delete it straight away because I know it's low value. If Charlotte gets an email from LSKD, she's probably like straight into it like, whoa, what's this? Whereas that's the sort of brand recognition you want, where someone goes, oh, I just got an email from LSKD. And then the subject line is, what makes it important?
We're all part of this whole money game. This all.
Welcome back to another episode of Beers in Business. I'm Abe Dearmer, CEO of AppSembler.
No, I'm Andrew Martin, CEO of Teamgate CRM. We're back again, episode 13.
Yeah, it's a great one.
Been a little while. Got some new beers, which is fucking great. I'll let you go through yours first because I want to.
I've actually got an old beer.
Disappointing.
Yeah, I'm still trying to sort out my craft beer supplier after my move. So I'm still in Reckless Brewing, which is great. I'm back. I just got another one of their Schwartz beers.
Oh no, the dark. Oh, we're on a similar beer.
Yeah, so it's. I'm not going to go through it again, but this one here I found was like a really delicious beer. Really enjoy the Schwartz beer from Reckless Brewing. It's fantastic. And in honor of, I thought I'd make up for it by having my German mug from Bamberg, proper clay mug to make up for it, drinking a dark beer here. So that's how I thought I'd try and make up for my sacrilege of not having a new craft beer to review. Apologies to the listeners.
I'll make up for it because today I have a new brewery and a new beer. So welcome to the family, Brew Ha Ha, which is a local brewery up on the Sunshine Coast. I actually went there. Well, hey, I shouted them out the other day, and they reshared our post straight away. So that's a good sign. But I went out to they have a night market once a fortnight out in front of their brewery, which is really smart. A lot of people go there for the markets, end up going into the pub, buying
the husbands are like, yeah, we'll go to the market style. Sounds good.
Yeah, really smart because they have a little kids disco out the front, so the kids are entertained.
Did you put on some moves, mate? I've seen your moves; they're pretty good.
I did get forced by my son to go into the dance area as the only adult, which was fun.
Forced.
Did get
come on, Harry? We're going to dance.
Get out of here, son. From my dance moves, which is good. But yeah, there's a good little. They had a lot of food trucks, so you could grab food from a food truck and then go and actually eat the food in the beer area at the front, so you could have a beer while your kids were playing. Very smart, good setup. So yeah, I grabbed a heap of different beers from Brew Ha Ha, and today I am trying. Have a look at this. We'll do the pour.
Oh, you bring it up. There we go. Oh, look at that. That's nice and dark. And you got a cup too. Is that from the brewery, or is that just like?
It's not. This is my old original Bubba Gump glass that has lasted me many, many years. So
careful, mate. Got to be careful of that. Go. Charlotte doesn't like Bubba Gump.
Today is the Milk Stout.
Love a milk stout.
Luxurious blend of coffee, dark chocolate, and a hint of smokiness. It's a balanced, subtle stout that just works everywhere. I actually really like their branding as well. So all of their beers are very similar, just different colors. So the Milk Stout is a black.
It has this cool simplicity to it.
It's very simple, right? So underrated in marketing, which we're going to talk about today.
Like people think that you need like these really fancy labels and like really like cool designs and stuff like that, but sometimes a really well done, simple logo is way more powerful.
Yeah, I really like it. I like the design. I got my wife some beers as well there, which I'm sure I'll try in a couple of weeks. They have a strawberry and rhubarb sour and a raspberry saison, if that's how you pronounce it.
Yeah, saison, I believe it's pronounced, mate. I don't know. I just made it. Sounds good though.
So, similar branding, different colors, obviously like pink and the red for the raspberry and the strawberry. So yeah, I look forward to trying the beers in the next few weeks. But that is quite nice.
It's not too dissimilar, right? To when you think about the simplicity of it. When you look at the logo here from Reckless, it's like the things that change is like the color pattern underneath clearly defines what you're buying, what it is, and the brand, and then the rest is all put a little story on the back. I think there's something to be said. Like, I think a lot of craft breweries, they rely on their logo to stand out as opposed to their beer.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big thing. They have these like great murals on the side of their beer.
I've seen
with
some
cool
that are
names.
just, they're chaotic. It's like a big graffiti work of art, which, it's cool.
Yeah, it's like, bro, what am I drinking?
If I drink it and it's garbage, I'm not going back just because the design of the can. But yeah, I like the simplicity. I like the simplicity. So shout out to Brew Ha Ha. I'll be trying out, I think I've got 5 or 6 different beers to try over the next couple of weeks. So I'll keep you posted, and wouldn't mind a sponsorship, but either way, we'll keep supporting the local breweries as we go through.
Yeah, absolutely. And you brought up smoky flavour, right? So Bamberg, where this is from, they do a beer tour. So you go to like the local information centre, they give you a beer tour. And one of the beers on that tour was just absolutely amazing. It was it was a smoked beer, but it tastes like smoked ham, right? So it was amazing. It was dark beer, tastes like smoked ham, and it was almost, you felt like you were eating a meal as you were drinking it, as far as like the flavors that come through it. And it was it was really, really good.
Yeah. And that's like a stout characteristic, right? Like you feel like you're always having a meal when you're drinking it. I gave Charlotte a little bit of this one to taste, and she nearly fell over. She wasn't a fan, but again, very immature taste buds, I would say.
Immature taste buds. Hey, so you took a week off, and then you decided to let your immune system rest just so you could catch some sort of virus that's going around, and you managed to infect your whole family. So how does that feel?
Yeah, I'm a bit of a villain at the moment at home. Unfortunately, I did take a week off to reset and rest, which was great. And of course, on the day I returned on Monday, I came down with what I think is COVID, but I haven't tested yet because, well, what's the point anymore? But yeah, I've been pretty bad, but unfortunately my wife has caught it and she's been absolutely leveled by it. So she's twice as bad as I am.
I'm going to have to bleep out the C word there, mate, because as soon as you say that word on any sort of like streaming, it's like flags across the globe. You're a real piece of work. But
there we go.
What do you think is worse? Do you think it's worse getting sick your first day of time off, or do you think it's worse getting sick your first day back? Because obviously when you get back from your time off, you're flooded, right? But you also want to enjoy that time off that you do get. So being sick that entire time is pretty rubbish.
I think it depends on your job. For me, I don't mind. I can work when I'm sick. I'm working from a desk. I've had some sales calls this week where I've got no voice, so it's made it a little bit tricky. But you're
just really good at listening, mate. That's what they take away from it. Jesus, Andrew listens to me.
Yeah, if I was a tradie, I'd be struggling right now, being this unwell. But with my current job, I'd rather be healthy on the week off because I got to get out and do some fun stuff, play some golf, have some time with the kids, take them on some adventures. So yeah,
nice.
As we can hear your kids.
Mate, it's Saturday. We're recording live here Saturday morning, and my youngest kid, I could hear him fiddling with the door, just wants to come in and give me a cuddle. And it's like, love you, buddy. Busy. It's always hard, right? That's one of the big challenges of working from home is those boundaries that come with it.
Yeah, for sure.
But I think that's a good point as well about depending on what sort of job you're doing, it really dictates what the challenges that come with it when you start to look at being sick, either during that time off period. But I think anyone would probably say that getting sick on that first day of time off just sucks. But how'd you go in golf, mate? Did you did you achieve a 6 or an 8 handicap for those who watched the presidential election recently?
Go on, mate. I call BS on both of them. Actually, Trump can play.
Trump's pretty good at golf, man.
Trump should be able to play. Like,
I just imagine Trump has all these people around the golf course. I can't remember what movie it is where it's like Mr. Burns.
Yeah, they hit
where
it.
Smithers keeps moving the ball and stuff. Yeah.
I've
That's
seen
what I
his
imagine
swing.
Trump playing golf slot, right?
He's actually not bad. I've watched some of his gameplay
Highlight
and some of his
reels.
competitions, but Joe Biden's absolutely full of it. He can't walk upstairs, let alone hit a golf ball. So yeah, 6 is an incredible handicap.
I don't
So
understand golf handicaps, and
I think
so
he got confused with how many handicaps he might have versus his golf handicap. Because there's
oh, put that on the
not a
highlight reel, baby.
not a chance in hell he's got a handicap of 6. I think mine would be around a 26. So
That sounds pretty accurate, mate.
yeah,
That sounds pretty accurate. Yeah, so you took a week off, back at work now, but let's talk about your learning of the week. What do you got?
Yeah, so obviously the learning of the week, I've been away for a week, so I think just the importance of that recalibration. I was pretty burnt out. My wife is probably the one that raised it to me, and then you and I had a good chat before I took the week off, and you said the same thing, like, needs to go and reset. Just found myself getting, we've spoken about habits and routine, and just started to feel like I was out of that routine and I needed something to recalibrate or sort of just break the routine to have a week and then come back and be re-energized to jump back into it. A couple of days before I took the week off, I was dreading coming to work, which I've never done in the last, since I've started this role. I've actually really, really enjoyed it. So, and probably getting a little bit snappy towards my employees and stuff like that. So, yep, just made the decision, take the week. It handed over a lot of responsibility to my employees as well. So probably worked well in both ways. They had a higher workload for the week. And then I've come back ready to go and ready to smash into Q3 and Q4 and re-energized for the rest of the year. So I definitely think it's worth it for those. Obviously, a lot of people are out there, especially people running their own businesses. They really just sometimes are head down, bum up, and worried about churning everything out. And they probably think that they can't take some time off because without you think the company will fall over. But I say just take the week. But if you're going to take the week, completely disconnect. You can't be 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Just either hand over the responsibility or just tell your customers, hey, we're shut down for a week. Speaking of, I think you and I both saw it. One of my competitors, HubSpot. I say competitors, one of the biggest CRMs in the world, HubSpot. They just had a global shutdown for a week. So all of their employees around the globe have taken a week off. So I think it's important. It's good to see big companies doing it as well. But
I also think it's a luxury. It's a big company luxury.
Yeah, for those guys.
Which it's sort of.
I'm pretty sure
it makes
theirs
it hard.
is scattered as well. Like it's not everyone taking a week off. It's
summer, right? Yeah, they got enough employees.
Summer.
But I think it highlights a good point is that small businesses look at that and go, oh, I should do that. But you got to remember that HubSpot makes a bucket load of money and they're hand over fist to cash off people, and they've got the profit margins to be able to afford to give people that week off. So if you're a small business owner, don't think that you look at HubSpot and then your employees go, oh, HubSpot gave people a week off, we should do the same. Like, I think that's a great initiative. Like 100%, it's a great initiative. I love that. But you have to be at the level of business where you're just making money. That says something about their profit margins and how much they charge people, is that they have the ability there to go, well, we can just give all of our employees a week off. And you got to think about it. Their employees are not paid a small amount of money. They're probably on pretty good salaries. And a week of work is a fair chunk of change. Great initiative. But I think as small business owners, we need to come up with like creative ways of how to give almost like the perception of a refresh or a reset to your employees. One good way you could look at it is doing a staff retreat day for 1 day a week, where potentially you go and do like a walk through the bush, or go to swimming holes, or do something that just breaks that cycle that's fun, or incentivize it through other ways. One way I've seen is that every year that you work at the company, you get an extra day off every year up to a certain point, which I think is a great way to look at it as well, because that way you're rewarding people for being on for longer, but also giving them the opportunity to reset. But it's just about being smart and figuring out what your employees want. Some people do, like tradies are the best for it, right? Where they'll work you like a dog all week. Friday lunchtime, though, you're in the pub having a countery, having some beers, and it's like it's all gone. The
Unless
week
you're a
of
Sparky.
unless you're a Sparky. Well, no, well, yeah, you don't work Friday for a start, but you're not going to the pub for a counter. You're going to Michelin star restaurant.
Exactly.
Yeah, drinking some fine wines. Shout out to you, Mitch. But when you look at that, it's tradies do it really well, and it's in their habit, it's in their culture that's what you do. But one thing I think is missing from a lot of other businesses that are out there is that they don't have that habit or that culture. It's you work 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. Friday, 5 o'clock comes, everyone goes home, does their weekend, comes back. Think about putting those reset periods in, whether that be you have a ritual at, Friday lunchtime every 2 weeks, every month is an early knockoff, go with some beers in a cannery, things like that. Tradies do work some pretty horrendous hours at times. So, it's something to keep in mind. But I think having that break cycle is super important. And one thing that I think people, they decide that they don't like their job anymore and they should quit, but really they're just tired.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big thing, right? When you said, I was dreading coming to work, which is not, it's not like you. It's like, we've got a great job and we love what we do. Every day is a new challenge and it's fantastic, but having a new challenge every day, do that time and time again, it can result in a bit of burnout. And you sit there and go, oh, how am I going to do this again tomorrow? It's like you just need to take some, and you need to identify the warning signs of that. And when you text me and you're like, hey, thinking about this, I said, dude, just take a week off. Like, just do it. Because the value of it is you'll come back and you'll be, that week will be absolutely negated because of the fact that your productivity is, 3x'd after that week off. Maybe not because you're sick.
Caveat it. I'm not telling everyone to take a week off every month. Like it got to a point where I had a lot of days in my book because I hadn't taken, any time off outside of public holidays in 2 years. So that reset was needed. But for small business, get creative. Like so now that I'm back, I've put it in place that myself and my team have 1 day a week where we don't take meetings. So that's a day where the employees can just put their head down and get into their work. And for those listening, like Abe said before, I'm sick. I'm losing my voice, so I apologize if I sound interesting as I come across while you're listening in your car. But yeah, just get creative. So whether it's a no meeting day or just days where you don't have any internal meetings, or it really depends what industry you're in and what you're doing. But retreat days, no meeting days. Just take time to reset the team, and if you can tie it to a change in direction. So if you're rolling from Q2 into Q3 and you've had some goal changes, have that reset, come back and smash into your new goals as well.
Yep, absolutely. All right, awesome. So on to my learning of the week. So I think this comes from Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad, Poor Dad is where the concept comes from. It might have been from a podcast for him. It's not a quote, but it's something that I learned and sort of thought about, and it came to fruition this week. Is we need more people to be deep and narrow as opposed to being broad. So essentially, what we're saying is that SMEs are important. So having subject matter experts that are out there is important. So I started, using a few different tools and using a few design pieces, working in the Salesforce App Exchange, and it just really highlighted to me about how much you need some people who are deep and narrow in something to just come and fix a problem. Like, yes, could I get there in the end? Probably. How much time would I spend? Way too much time for what it's worth. Whereas if I talk to someone and get them involved and get their assistance with it, who is deep and narrow in that particular space, I might be able to solve the problem in a matter of minutes.
Yeah, for sure. And it's interesting because I guess through our military careers, we were sort of the opposite, right? Like we had to know a wide range of things, not as in depth, but when you take that next level down, obviously we were in management positions. You expect those subject matter experts below you or working for you to be the experts in that field. So I think, yeah, there's definitely a need for people to be deep and narrow. And I think as a manager, you need to know when to delegate to them or seek that expertise rather than trying to do it all yourself.
Yeah. And I think that's as you grow in experience and move up in managerial roles, you do naturally become broader because you're managing a lot of these people who are now very deep and narrow. And so I'm not saying that no one should be broad and across everything. I'm saying that it's super important to have those people who are deep and narrow. So if you don't have someone in your organization who is deep and narrow on a particular subject, then and it's important to your business, you need to go and find them.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And what do we have for, I'll let you go first, quote of the week?
Quote of the week. All right. So banging straight onto it. So this one here is from Sam Walton. And for those who haven't read his book on Walmart, it's amazing. He really just lays it all out there. Has some pretty controversial opinions in there, but great book to read for anyone who's in business, especially if you're looking in like retail or e-commerce or anything like that. He just has some really great perspectives and everything that goes with it. So his quote here is, there's only one boss, the customer, and he can fire everybody in the company from the chairman on down simply by spending his money somewhere else. And that was his philosophy the whole time. When you read his book and read about Walmart and Sam Walton and the type of person he was always looking for those big changes to bring customers into his store. And it started with having an ice cream machine out the front of one of his first stores. Like he had a random chain store before, he started Walmart. And he used to put like popcorn machines, ice cream machines, have donkey rides, have like all this random stuff that he'd put on every Saturday at the front of his store to get customers to come to his store. And that was the biggest thing, is getting people to vote with their feet. And I think it's really important there is that everyone needs to realize that without a customer, there is no business. And, I think the customer's always right often gets taken out of context because the customer is most definitely not always right. However, you need to make sure that the customer wants to spend their money with you and not someone else.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I think this is where there's a real big, not challenge, but like an argument around, especially if you're a small team, do you spend more effort trying to attain new customers or retaining your current customers, right? And it's a lot of people when they're growing initially, it's like just get new. But the value really is retaining
net revenue
customers,
retention, right?
Because it's a lot easier to retain a customer than it is to go and find a new customer.
A lot cheaper.
So if you're losing customers at the same rate that you're gaining new customers, you're probably still losing out because you're losing them on the back end. So good one there. Mine, I only got this morning, but I've got one. It is
this
good
morning.
Archer,
he means like 10 minutes ago.
Like 10 minutes ago. A good archer is known not by his arrows, but by his aim. So this one I put in just as I'm going through planning for the back end of this year with Team Gates. So basically it's saying if you aim for nothing, you'll hit it every time. So be specific with your goals. If you've got a goal to grow revenue, don't just put, I'm going to grow revenue by X. Like actually specify how you're going to do it. Like what are you going to actually go and test? Because at the end of the quarter, if you didn't hit the goal, why didn't you hit the goal? You need those insights and that data to guide you as you go through. If you're testing a new industry, a new country, it's great if you fail because it tells you at least that this might not be a feasible channel, and then you can go test something else. But go and create those goals, but be specific, and then make sure you're tracking them as you go through as well.
Yeah, and I think that you could have made an excellent segue into our topic of discussion for today. Is email marketing dead? With that quote as well, because how often have we got random emails from brands that we don't really know or people that we don't know that not personalized, and we suddenly go, this is very low value to me. I don't even know who you are. Delete.
Yep.
So, yeah, it goes with
good
emails as
timing,
well.
because I took a week off and I came back to 387 emails. And thankfully, I have Superhuman.
Superhuman.
Which is a great tool. For those who don't
We're not
use
sponsored
it,
by Superhuman, but
I was
sponsored
able
pricks.
to get through it pretty quick.
Yeah.
But out of that 387, how many do you think were actually like relevant emails that I had to respond to? Yeah, like 10 or less. So, in a week, you just, and it leads perfectly into what we're going to talk about today about email marketing, is just people like us and even people like at every level. But
it's everyone, man.
We're just, our inbox
even
is
my
full.
personal email inbox. Like, thankfully, I can use Superhuman for that as well. And straight away, I've got important contacts, and then I've got other, and others just like skim, nothing of importance, delete all.
Yep.
So
it's shocking. It's
you just get absolutely
and it takes so much time. I feel sorry for like people that, like, again, we're not sponsored by Superhuman, but if you don't have a tool out there that's going to help you get through this crap,
you understand how, like, you see the little mail, and
so much time.
I am one of these people that if I have like a notification on my phone, my home screen,
you've got to clear it. Yeah,
it'll just drive me absolutely mental. I'll just look at it and be like, oh, and I hate the apps that don't clear it for whatever reason. One of them is really bad, like Booking.com. My kids
Facebook
have
Messenger every now and then does the same.
Yeah, my kids have their school uses this app called Compass, and it's really annoying to clear the notifications, and it just pisses me off. I'm like, if I didn't need this so much for this kid's school, I'd delete it. But it's just one of those things, the notifications. But I understand how people with that little mail icon on their iPhone or whatever they use for any of the Android devices, how that's like $999 or whatever it is plus, because you just get spammed with them and it's so hard to clear them all out. But before we get kickstarted into that, to stay out of trouble with everyone, let's define email marketing. So email marketing is the use of email to promote products or services as well as incentivize customer loyalty. It's a form of marketing that can make the customer on your email list aware of new products, discounts, and other services. So essentially all it is, it's sending someone an email to promote your product, service, or to get them to come back in. How many times have you been in a Shopify do this really well, and that's why a lot of people use Shopify. Mm-hmm. You're in there, you put your card in, you're like, great, I've got, these 3 shirts from Warrior Strong, fantastic. And then I leave, and then I come back in, or I leave, I go do something else, and then I get an email saying, hey, Abe, did you forget something? Oh, yeah, that's right. I was going to buy these. I go in and buy them again. That's a massive win on the conversion rate. So that's an example of email marketing. Another one is if Andrew wants to try and sell you Teamgate, and he does your little LinkedIn profile, checks you out and goes, damn, I need Abe to come and be a customer at Teamgate. I'm going to send him an email. Boom, email comes through, want me to buy his product. Another example of email marketing. So there's like inbound, outbound, and I guess like customer incentivized emails as well.
Yeah, and generally the bulk of it you'll see is in bulk, right? So it's, people will, the general use cases, people will go and buy a list of leads or have a certain industry they want to target. They'll do up their email templates or whatever it is, marketing campaign, and just blast out hundreds or thousands of emails at once.
Thousands.
And unfortunately, a lot of people will go and pay a marketing agency to run these campaigns for them, and it's just not working.
And the only thing you get out of it is a poor domain rating, and all your emails end up going to spam.
It just ruins your domain rating and your spam rating.
So the argument here is email marketing dead? And I think this topic is really important because people are so infatuated with social media now and how social media marketing is taken off and how it's so important and it results in these, really great conversion rates and things like that. And it's like, I disagree. I mean, social media marketing is important to build your brand, but does it actually result in people buying your product? I don't think it's I don't think you can do social media marketing without having email marketing. And the reason that people say email marketing is dead is like, we've got all these new channels, it allows you to personalize, you can reach such a big audience, and the email inbox is just jammed. As you said, you got 370 emails in there. What do you do with them all? All this kind of stuff, right? That they claim is that inboxes are too full. AI has allowed people just to spam email. Email lists are getting ridiculous. But I think that email marketing forms an extremely important part of your marketing and conversion rate. And we're going to go into reasons why we think that's the case as we move forward. But what's your opinion on that, Andrew?
Yeah, I think we probably need to split it. Not split it, but I think cold email marketing is really hard nut to crack at the moment, just because of the reason we said before, where it's, I'm receiving 300 emails in a week. So people that are decision makers, they're not even reading it. They're reading the subject line and getting, if it doesn't click, it's gone. I think where it can be really important, and it has been for us, is with your current customers or qualified leads. So current customers, for example, TeamGate has a lot of free subscribers. We've got a free plan, so we've got a lot of individuals that use TeamGate for free. Marketing to them, hey, you're missing out on X, Y, and Z by not paying. This is the value that you could be getting if you pay.
Incentivize, right?
I think that's a really good avenue. And then the other one is like the qualified leads, right? So if someone comes into TeamGate and starts a trial, they're qualified. Or they have a demo with us, they're qualified. So that marketing after that point is really important. And it needs to be tailored to the value that your system or your tool or your service provides. So I think like post qualification obviously is can be very, very effective. It's been effective for us. I think cold email marketing is really tough nut to crack. And we'll probably go through some ways to crack it or try to increase your chances. But I think the delineation between the two is pretty important.
I'll tell you who gets me really good is one of the companies that does really well, I feel, is LSKD. Do a really good job with their emails.
My wife.
Yeah. And they're really effective because at the end of the day, they're using your email because you brought from them before. They do quality products and they're like, hey, Andrew, here's our new hoodie for winter. And you're like, oh, I need a hoodie for winter. I like LSKD. This hoodie looks okay. Great, I'm going to buy it. Right, I think there's like they create urgency as well. They'll put like a really big discount, but it'll be like you've got 3 days. And or they'll say we've only made
money.
One thing that they do every year. They do this fantastic the mystery box that they do. How many of them has Charlotte brought?
I don't think she's only just started buying, so I'm sure it's coming.
Wait, mate, just you wait. They do this mystery box, bro. She's gonna buy she'll buy the big one.
Mate, she went and bought a shirt the other day for Harry, our 2-year-old, on Marketplace. It was a brand new shirt from them that a mum had bought, and it didn't fit her kids. She she's like, I'll be back in 5. And I was like, where are you going? She
had to run to go down there. She's running, get sweating.
She's like, look, Harry's he's got the same shirt as me. I was like, did you really just drive to like 15 minutes away to get this shirt off Marketplace? She's like, yeah, it's like a $50 shirt. I got it for like $10. I was like, okay.
But they do really, but their mystery box thing is really cool because they say we've got extra large. It's like a trust us box, and a lot of people have started doing it now. You'll see a lot of brands doing it now, but they've got an extra large, a large, and a medium or a small or whatever they call it, right? But the thing is with that is that there's only let's just say 50 extra large, 100 large, and 200 small. And so once they're gone, they're gone. And so you'll see people literally just like they sell out so fast, those mystery boxes. And it's amazing because you don't know what you're getting. You could absolutely hate the colors, but you're getting a pretty good discount, so you just take it anyway. But I think the way that they do email marketing is really, really well, where they just put their products out there, showcase it. It's really neat. They have a really good call to action that's clear. And we'll talk about what some of the, the key things that are email marketing, that are effective in email marketing. But one thing I'd say is that B2C and B2B email marketing is a completely different beast.
Yeah.
And I think B2C have done a really good job at email marketing. And I think B2B generally sucks at email marketing because they haven't quite figured out how to make it good.
I think the sales process is so more complicated, I guess, in B2B, or there's just more of a process involved, right? With B2C, I think, like you said, I think Shopify does an excellent job, especially like the cart notifications or, purchase history and trends and things like that. So I think because it makes it really personalized, right? And it's easy to personalize B2C because you're selling to a person. When you're selling to a company, it's like, okay, who actually cares about this product? Is it the person I'm dealing with? Is it the decision maker? Is it you've got to reach the right person first, and then personalize to that person or the company's needs. So it's a tough balance, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. But one thing I'd like to point out is when we talk about email marketing, let's just talk about some stats quickly, because one thing that email marketing is really good at is showing us statistics, because there's so many little trackers that you can put in email marketing, which is really good. And it's one of the best signs to understand how much your email is resonating or how much your campaign's resonating with people and what people actually think is important. Because you can get what links specifically were clicked, what buttons were clicked, things like that. So when you're doing conversion rate optimization, it's really easy to see. So MailChimp is probably one of the leaders in the space for email marketing. They really did a good job at cornering e-commerce. Everyone probably has seen their ads that have been kicking around for MailChimp. To be honest, quite expensive for what you get, but still they're the market leaders, so they can really do that. But they release stats every year about email marketing, obviously because they want to show the good stuff, because they want more people to start email marketing. But the average open rate that they saw across every industry is 35.63%, which is pretty good open rate when you think about a lot of these people that probably send out spammy sort of emails that go out there. The average click rate is 2.62%, which is not too bad. Average unsubscribe rate sits at 0.22%, which is both bad and good, because a lot of people will not bother to unsubscribe from an email. They just mark it as spam or put it as junk or just delete it every time it comes in, or just not clear their inbox. So I don't really think that's as important as it really seems, but it's quite a low unsubscribe rate. So now we've got hard bounce and soft bounce. So a lot of people will be like, what the hell are you talking about? What's a hard bounce? What's a soft bounce? So a hard bounce is essentially the email doesn't exist, or no longer exists. So how many times have someone's asked you for an email, you've just put in this random fake email just to get through whatever gate it is, and they send it off and then it just bounces straight back. That's a hard bounce. Soft bounce is where the email does exist, but it's been intercepted for some reason. And this could mean your domain authority is really low, and it's actually being captured by the web server and saying, we don't really trust you that much. We're going to not give them this email. Or some corporations have, pretty hefty security regulations on what emails can come in. So that can be a soft bounce. So a soft bounce essentially lets you notify that, the email exists, but for some reason my email didn't get there.
Yep. And I think what's important to note here is, for a lot of these stats, this is based on, so the open rate, for example, is based on it actually being delivered. So 35% open rate if the email actually hits the inbox. So first and foremost, you need to get it there. So there's some other tools out there. Google Postmaster, I believe, is one of them. They'll actually tell you your spam rating, your domain authority, and that sort of stuff. So if you've got a low rating, it's going to bounce a lot more often. So you need to get it to the inbox first. I think the big one to focus on.
So Andrew's just gone completely off the script here, and he's gone rogue. He's gone down to the second last point here.
Yeah, no, we'll touch on it when we get to that point. But I think the stat to really focus on is probably your click rate, especially if you've got something clickable in those emails is that's going to be an indicator of
So
what's working.
One
and
thing
what's
to be
not.
wary of open rates is that a lot of email tools, Microsoft is really bad for it. Maybe not so bad for it, but it'll trigger as an open when it's being scanned for viruses. And so essentially they'll do a virus scan and you'll get a report back saying like, oh, it was open. It also happens for clicks because sometimes what'll happen is they'll click on all the little links and it'll go through like this virus filter to make sure it's not malware or anything like that. And that can also count towards your click rate.
Yeah, so we literally just went through this issue with our email provider. So in Teamgate, we measure click rates and open rates and things like that. And so, but it's through a third party email provider, and we're having the same issues. And their response was basically, it's getting harder and harder to measure this stuff because of email settings, security settings, virus settings. So, we were having issues where if I was to send you an email, the first email wouldn't count. Like if you opened it, it wouldn't count as an open. But if you open the second email, then it would double and go, okay, he's open too. So it was really strange trying to get insight on it. And
I think the big thing here is that if you have a tool like MailChimp, it's going to tell you all this stuff. But just be aware when you see like an open rate of 60%, don't like start screaming to the hills like, my subject line and my preview text is really good because people are opening my emails, got good brand, recognition in my email campaigns. Yeah, maybe, right? But more than likely what it actually is that the people you're emailing have scanners in place and it's giving you a false open rate. So I think click rate is a good one to look at. But then also what I think is more important is having analytics set up to see what actions people are taking because you'll have UTMs in all of your, you should use UTMs in all your emails. And then that way you can see what actions they take on the site. And you can say, what's a really good measure is, I've had 26 purchases this month because of my email campaign. That means that MailChimp is being paid for simply by the conversions I'm getting from this email campaign, plus some extra profit on top of that. So my ROI is great.
Yeah. And a lot of people out there probably going, what the fuck is a UTM? There's free tools out there you can generate, but it's essentially a custom link. So instead of, if I had a button that says visit Teamgate in the email, instead of using teamgate.com as the link, I can go and generate a UTM, which is a custom link that still takes them to teamgate.com, but it tracks the source of where that button click originated from. So it might be email. So then you can go into Google Analytics and you can see how much traffic or where that person has originated from. So we can talk about that on another episode.
Yeah. All right. Let's get into the juicy stuff, right? So we talked a lot about some stats, email marketing in general, some, just some different uses and everything like that. But let's get into the juicy stuff about what makes a good email in our opinion, and also from what we've seen from some of the studies done by MailChimp and things like that as well. So the first one that we talk about is the subject line. And so this is really important because when you look at your inbox, there's three things that you see. Who the email's from, the subject line, and the preview text. And so before you even choose to open this email, you determine its worth by those three things. And so if I see Andrew has sent me an email, I'll usually delete it straight away because I know it's low value. But if LSKD sent me an email, I'm like, oh, great. If Charlotte gets an email from LSKD, she's probably like straight into it, like, whoa, what's this? What do they got for me now? Like, where can I spend my money? Like that sort of stuff. Whereas that's the sort of brand recognition you want, where someone goes, I just got an email from LSKD. This is exciting. What do they got for me, right? That's what you want. So the brand initially there. But that can be built through social media, right? That can be built through your other marketing channels that allows someone to have that brand recognition when they get that email going, oh, they've put out some pretty cool stuff lately. Or my favorite influencer wears, their stuff. I might have a look. That's where that brand recognition really comes into play. And then the subject line is, what makes it important to me? Why should I look at this? And so one of the big things, and maybe Andrew would go tit for tat with this, is the first one is personalization. So especially in the B2B space, a lot of emails come in and you want to try and make it personalized. So you want to notify Andrew that you have some sort of reason to be talking to me. And especially when you're doing cold, or even if it's a current customer, you want them to go like urgent, or thank you for your time today. Talk about something recent that has occurred, or something that's really relevant to them is really the important piece of that personalization. So they go, oh, this isn't just a automated or AI email that's being sent out. This is something that Andrew has personally crafted and sent to me, so I need to look at it.
Yeah, and I think it's not really the next point, but I think, and you could agree or disagree, Abe, but when I have 300 emails in my inbox, I'm looking at who's it from? Do I know them? What do they want? Do I care? And
the big bit is, do I care?
Do I care, and does it provide any sort of value? And if it's none of the, like, if I don't know them, I'm going straight to the subject line. If it's spammy, straight away I'm just deleting it. If it's something that captures my attention, I'm reading the preview text. And again, if it doesn't provide any value, I'm deleting it. I'm not even opening it to read. I don't have enough time to read 300 emails. So I think, like you said, with that personalization, tools out there like MailChimp, you can send emails from a specific person. So instead of me sending an email out to all of my customers that says from Andrew.Martin, you can actually send from Andrew at Teamgate, or from Bailey at Teamgate. So they might go, who's Bailey? But then they see Bailey at Team. Okay, it's Bailey at Team. Like, she's the person that meets with all of our customers. So they have that recognition straight away. So that's one way to personalize. But the next point is free. Using the word free isn't guaranteed to help. So free can be marked as spam, but it's not always guaranteed to help. So again, it comes back to do I know this person? Do I care? Like, if someone's offering me free hair products, I probably won't care unless it's hairspray. So I'm going to move on. I'm going to delete it. But if they're offering free consultation or free, like, something that I actually need, then it might click and I'll take that next step. But the other thing is, don't be misleading. My biggest pet peeve is if someone fucking misleads me, or so I had one yesterday, and the subject line was, sorry, I missed you. Like, as in, like, I didn't turn up to an appointment. So I clicked on the on the email, and then the email was just completely unrelated. It was just like a sales pitch, but the subject line was like, oh, we missed each other. Like, we didn't have the meeting we were meant to have.
Great way to boost your open rates, buddy.
Straight away, I blocked him. So every time he emails me again, it's going to go straight to spam. He's now been marked as spam. So don't be misleading, because it annoys me. I'm sure it annoys other people.
The old bait and switch, right? Like, everyone hates it. You've got to be upfront. And I think that's, if you don't have a good enough reason to put in the subject line of why we should be talking, then don't email me. It's that simple, right? Like, I've
noted recently a lot of like link exchanges and things like that, which I'm open to link exchanges because it helps SEO wise if they're good quality links.
But there's value there, right?
The recent one is that they're writing partnership opportunities, like, oh, let's partner. And it's like, then you go into it's like, oh, it's just a link exchange. Like, just say it's a link exchange and I'll click it.
Because link exchange have value. I love link exchanges. Like, I'll be like, great.
Say like, oh, partnership. who like, let's talk partnerships. It's like, it's just a link exchange. Just say what it is, and I'll actually open it and I'll probably respond to you.
Yeah. Say, send me the domain. Let's have a look at the ranking and let's do something. Let's work together.
Are all going to send me link exchanges.
Yeah, 100%. Great. Hey, I look forward to it. I want to get link exchanges. I love it because it's great for SEO. It benefits everyone. So, yeah, and as long as it's relevant and the domain ranking is good, sure. So the next one is sense of urgency. So building that sense of urgency importance. If you've got a sale that ends in 24 hours, say it ends in 24 hours. 3 hours left of the sale. People love that because they go, oh, what if I'm missing out on a really good deal here and I've only got 3 hours? I better go check that out. I do that. If someone says 3-day sale, I'm like, oh, I wonder what's there. I'll probably go on there and say, I don't really need any of that stuff anyway. Because there's this, it reminds me of, I was watching something, got into a sweet TikTok hole the other day or something like that, and looked at there was a reel on there, and it was probably Instagram. It was accountants that were tasked to make sense of girl math. And one of the girl math things, they're like, oh, if it's on sale, I'm saving money. And the accountants all were like, did you need it? They're like, yes, I needed the item. Well, then that makes sense. You saved money. And so if you need something, like if you need a new TV, you're an idiot if you buy a new TV when it's not on sale.
When it's full price, yeah.
Yeah, you're an idiot because you always know. Just wait 2 months. It's going to be up right now, end of financial year sale.
Financials.
If you buy something on the 1st of July when that end of financial year sale ceases of something you needed, you're an idiot. It's plain and simple. So people respond well when you say and build an urgency, especially in that B2C space of we've got a 72-hour sale or a 3-day sale. Great. Let me in there. 3 hours left of this sale. Don't miss out. It's like, oh, LSKD's only got 3 hours left. I've probably already missed out because they've sold out of their sale items, but I'm going to go check anyway. It's like sense of urgency, building that sense of importance really helps with the email conversions.
Yeah, for sure. We just bought a new mattress and financial year sales. And Charlotte.
I brought a coffee machine.
Charlotte did some good negotiation. She said, we need a new mattress. I said, no, we don't. She said, we need a new mattress. The last mattress we bought was when we were young kids with no money, and we bought it when we were in Townsville. That was like 10 years ago. And I was like, okay, we'll get a new mattress. And we got it on sale.
Geordie's campaigning for a new mattress too.
Yeah.
Tell us she's dreaming.
Don't do it.
Don't tell Charlotte to mention that you got a new mattress, and you don't tell Geordie either, because then she'll be like, oh, we're on.
I'm going to skip one. I'm going to go to requests for donations are largely ignored. So again,
sorry, Dylan.
It's a request for a need. It's not really any value there. I think there's ways to word it where you could probably increase your success. Provide the value or the need that needs to be filled, whether it's a tax deduction, right? Donations are a tax deduction. End of tax time's coming up. Is there anything that
pull on the heartstring? Kids are starving.
Or pull on the heartstring. Don't just request a donation.
Read a story about a single mother that got kicked out of her home with 3 kids.
Ads are important here. Video ad. I saw a video ad the other day about a children foster thing in the Sunshine Coast, and mate, I was a mess. And I was like, just Googling straight away, like, how do I volunteer for this company? Charlotte's like, you've got 2 kids at home. Like, play with
Look after them, buddy.
I'm like, mate, I do.
I got a week off now. I feel like I'm rejuvenated.
Yeah. I got to feel that week. Yeah. I'll have more kids, but So again, it all comes back to that value. You can't just, especially cold email for donations, and that's where I hate door knockers. I hate the ones that you see at the shops, like you've said before. Those people that they're just trying to sell raffle tickets or whatever it is,
right?
But they're super like pushy, or it's like, come on, mate. I saw one the other day. He goes, come on, mate, come buy a ticket. I said, no, thanks. He goes, oh, you're not interested in helping veterans? I just laughed. I was like, oh, I know a few veterans. They're all wankers. He clearly didn't know I was a veteran, and I just kept walking. So, yeah.
And he thought you're an absolute dick.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. Let's get through these other ones because we've got a fair bit of other stuff to cover as well. Announcements, invitations, cancellations. You talked about that. They got you with those, but make sure it's not a bait and switch because that's going to get you in a lot of trouble. There's a number of word pairs that when put together, it impacts on open rates. It's something you have to test for your particular ICP in business. Capitalization can help slightly, although its overuse can be determined as being spammy. So just be wary of it, but it can help slightly with the conversion rates. But there are a number of words that affect email open rates positively and negatively. And so free has shown to increase by 2%, freebie by 26%. Interesting, though, to probably look at the ICP that compares like freebie versus other things. Urgent, 79%. Once again, people who probably use urgent, it's probably a bait and switch.
Customers or current customers, right? Urgent.
Yeah, urgent request.
About to be suspended.
Yeah. Thank you is one that increased the open rates, but hey, that could just be like, thank you for meeting with me today. Like it's a warmish email, but that increases by 57%. So when you look at those words, I think the big one there is like freebie. Urgent, when used in the correct context, like urgent, 3 hours left on this sale, that could increase that open rate and that conversion rate a little bit further. Some of the negative ones there is cancelled, because why would you open it? It's already been cancelled. Who cares? You probably know what it's talking about, so you just delete. Helping, donate, helping decrease by 12%. Donate decrease by 56%.
Massive.
So don't ask someone to donate in the subject line, because they haven't had a chance to build. So Andrew watched that video of the foster children and was like, holy shit, I need help, because it pulled his heartstrings. If you say like, donate $5 to save someone's, to give someone a meal, you're not emotionally invested just yet. And so you really got to get them emotionally invested. So don't put it in the subject line. Last chance, decreased it by 45%, which is interesting, right? Last chance, because you'd think that build the urgency, whereas urgent increased by 79%. So I don't know what it is about last chance, but people just don't seem to care.
I think go with the time period, right? Like you said before, it's like 24 hours left, or be specific. Yeah,
absolutely. Preview text. Do you want to talk about that, Andrew?
Yeah, so obviously we spoke about the three things you see in your inbox, and one is who's it from, the other is the subject line and the preview text. A lot of people actually ignore this, or they don't know it exists unless you're using a marketing tool. So preview text is generally, if you don't have a marketing tool, it's going to be the first line of your email. But if you do have a marketing tool like MailChimp or whatever it is, you can actually customize this. So a good one for us, we're currently doing a campaign to try to promote some of our free subscribers to increase their usage or switch to a paid plan. So that preview text is, you want it to be specific and you want it to be related to that value that you're offering. Don't be misleading, because you essentially want to summarize what is the email about in a couple of words, because that will grab their attention. And if it's actually a value, then they're going to click into it. And again, this is my do I care filter. So when I see who it's from, what the subject is, do I care, I go straight to the preview text. And if I don't care, it's getting deleted. So be specific, if there is value in that email or what you're offering, put it in the preview text. Because do you really want them clicking into the email anyway, if there's no value, or if you don't think that they're actually going to convert? So your preview text is in my opinion, is one of the most valuable things that you can do, especially when using marketing tools.
Yeah, so I think those are the three things, right? Branding. Do I recognize the brand? Is it known to me? Yes. Do I like it? Yes. That's like the first stage. If you don't know the brand, you then make an opinion based off the subject line, because it's reading left to right, and that's how your email is set up. And so subject line, and you go, oh, do I want to donate? No, because I don't know the organization. I don't really care at the moment. It hasn't got me emotionally involved. Urgent, sale ends in 3 days. Oh, preview text. This is where you get the opportunity then of like, we haven't quite got them yet, but we've got them enough to keep reading. And then you get into the preview text and you're like, okay, now I understand, and this is where I want to. So this is like your last ditch effort to get them to open the email and make that next commitment to move forward. So when you combine all of these together, think of it as like, if it's a brand I trust, I know, and I like, I'm probably not going to read the subject or the preview. I might just click in and just look at it. If I'm not that far along, I might want to make a decision off the subject, and then the final pitch is the preview text. Now, when we actually get people to open up the email, one of the biggest mistakes that I see across the board is it's so complex. People try to make them look so pretty. They try to have like bouncing colors, different things. It's like, it should be, you remember the episode we did on CRO and the website, where it needs to be simple. It needs to get the point across, least amount of words possible, and give someone clear actions that they need to be taking. And so simplicity in the email is so key. And so often you just see people who have probably paid someone a stupid amount of money to create this like wacky design that has all this stuff in it and might look really cool to them, but it's going to suck at converting because people just get confused.
Yeah, and I guess to give a tangible example, so just checking my inbox now. I've just received one from Jeff, who is the CEO of Grain.
Thanks, Jeff.
So he's gone, product update for June is the subject heading. And then in the preview text, it is how to add Grain to your LinkedIn. Join us for a product update and more. So it's, this is what's actually in the email. It's product updates for the month of June, an upcoming webinar, and that sort of stuff. So if that interests me, I'm going to click into it.
Yeah. But keeping it simple, when you look at the email, you need to have a clear goal in mind, which is the next point, right? So when you create an email campaign, what do you want to do? If you're a clothing company, I want to sell my winter line of clothes, particularly my standout product, which is our new hoodie that we're releasing for winter. Great. Your focus should be on calling out the hoodie, showing the value of the hoodie, and having a clear CTA for people to buy the hoodie, right? It shouldn't have a whole heap of random text and photos and stuff that's not relevant surrounding it. Clearly call out the hoodie, and then maybe have some other winter range items down the bottom that stay in line with that. But have that clear goal so the customer knows this is what I should be buying. Anything to add on that, Andrew?
Yeah, and I think just understand if for example, we're about to release a Q2 like newsletter, right? That's going to have a lot of stuff in it with different clickables and all that sort of stuff. And really the intent is to inform the customer, give them something that provides value to them. So the option really is them. I want them to understand or, know that we're updating our product. These are the updates we've done, and anything that piques their interest, they can click onto. So that's why there is a lot of links in there and a lot of different information. If your intent is for them to click a specific thing, keep it simple and keep those call to actions very, very clear. So if you want them to click on a particular product, or if you're selling a particular product, keep it relatively clear, simple, and make sure all the arrows are essentially pointing to, we want you to click this. You see it a lot. People trying to sell. There was a good example I sent you the other day on Instagram. Was a marketing campaign that was sent out by a clothing company, and buttons were all over the shop.
I remember that one, yeah.
They had a sale, but the sale and the discount code was like really small and hidden, so people actually didn't really see it. And the intent was like, hey, this is a sale, this is the coupon, buy. So it'd be really good. Probably a good exercise for us to go through and actually tear down some of these marketing campaigns and maybe
that's a follow on. We can
redesign them and say,
we can select
hey,
some email marketing.
This is what it could look like if you did some minor amendments. So yeah, if anyone's got any ideas or anyone's doing marketing campaigns, they want to send them through to us. Send them through.
And you know what I think is a very, very underutilized, an industry that really underutilizes the email marketing is people in like trades and those sort of services. So when we look at, Mitch with his electrician, going out and saying like, when summer's coming, I saw him cleaning an aircon on his TikTok the other day. Great marketing there, creating a video showing like all the crap that's coming out of this air conditioner. But summer's coming up. He should be sending an email to all of his customer base saying, have you had your air cons cleaned?
Or check them.
Or just provide stats. Like it's clear stat up here. It's like, something, because I'm sure there's some sort of stat, I don't know, about how air cons cause sickness if they're not cleaned properly, right? And so you just put up there that stat and say, have you cleaned your aircon? And just show like a very graphic picture of, here's all the stuff I took out of Andrew's aircon. And it's like, oh, crap, I should probably get mine cleaned.
And then just a clear call to action with a button, book your next clean.
And then, summer's coming up as well. Put a call to action for outdoor area. Things that people might want. Do you want a fan in your outdoor area? Do you want, extra lighting so you can do that outdoor entertaining? Things that you're going to be busy with during summer, like start that email campaign up. If you're a cleaner. So for Liv, right, send an email out to people because you've got all their emails, you do invoicing through emails. Send an email out to people and say, do you want a spring clean? Because like people think of, oh yeah, I probably should get all the winter dust out and things like that. Go have a spring clean. Doing things like that in email marketing is really how you have that clear goal and you show people that value. It's like, I understand this business. I know what they do. And you're right. I probably am overdue for a clean.
Yeah, and I don't think I've ever seen a tradie do like a newsletter either, which probably not as common, but someone like Mitch generates,
showcase your work, man. Showcase your work.
Mitch generates FOMO from his work. Like he'll do a kitchen where there's like these LED, and I look at it. And
I saw his TikTok the other day. He showed an entertainment area.
Yeah,
and it like showed this renovation, this entertainment area. I was like, oh man, how sick would that be?
Exactly.
Put that in a newsletter. Like,
put that in a
newsletter.
Out. Check out the new products that we're stocking. Check out, he's doing a lot of really good work with school-based traineeship. So he's putting kids through awesome education on the tools experience. Put that in your newsletter as well. People are going to be more willing to use you because they know you're doing good stuff and good quality work, and that FOMO thing's massive.
Not everyone sees you on TikTok. TikTok's noisy, right? Email's noisy. Everything's noisy, right? But if someone sees an email from Zeus Electrical and they go, oh, wonder what he's got, and they see value in it, like, hey, this is our renovation of the month, or, this is our work of the month. And if you want inspiration for what you want somewhere to look like, you tune into Zeus's email list.
Here it is, yeah.
And you get like your inspiration for, your entertainment room. But digress into like a whole different topic there. Email marketing is super important, but personalization where possible. So one thing I really love about, and I'm using a lot of B2C examples, but it's because I think they do a really good job. I think B2B sort of suck a little bit. I mentioned that before, but Amazon, Kogan, great Australian brand, right? Great Australian brand. They do a really good job with their email marketing where if you buy something, they'll send you, hey, Andrew, you brought this. Here's some other things you might like. And, man, some people fall absolutely flat on their face with this, though, because they're like, oh, you brought a broom. Great. Do you want this set of speakers? And it's like, what? He might like these as well. It's like,
Amazon do it pretty well as they're common, but Amazon do it before. It's like they're commonly purchased. So
commonly purchased together. You're buying a book, man.
Generally, people buy a laptop.
They get me with a book. They get me with a book.
Yeah.
They get me with the books, man. I'm there buying a book and I'll be like, oh, this is a great book. And then it's like, oh, frequently brought together. And I'll go down and there's 2 other books on there. And it's like, oh, it's discounted too. Oh, hell yeah, I want these 3 books. Like, why wouldn't I? And there might be one book in there that I couldn't care about. But they get me with that because, especially if you're buying a series of books, you can buy the next 2. And it's like, great, they got me.
Yeah. I think B2C, like you said, B2C, especially like e-commerce, is pretty good on the personalization side. If you're not B2C, if you're B2B, simple things like using people's names. So there's marketing tool, CRMs can do it, marketing tools can do it. Where you create email templates and it auto fills their name, their industry, whatever fields you actually want to use from that system. So just having that personalization in there, again, it's just something to prick up the eye where they go, oh, he's addressed me as my name. Is there a connection here? And you go down that funnel a little bit further.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we've got spam avoidance. Do you want to talk a bit about this?
Yeah, so this is massive. So this is, like I said, if we take a step all the way back before we talk about those statistics, you first need to land in the inbox. And this is a big issue for you and I, Abe, when we've taken over companies before. We've gone in and we've started doing marketing campaigns.
We're not going to mention names, but one was particularly terrible.
And we've just realized like none of our emails are getting delivered because
they're delivering because they're sending 20,000 emails and 50% of them are hard bouncing. Oh, God.
These companies previously have run these marketing campaigns where it was just all spammy crap. So they're domain authority and their spam rating is through the roof. So it's really important not to just email blast. And some ways to avoid that is through like staggered sending. So if you're going to send an email out to 100 customers, stagger your sending, and you can do that through marketing tools. You can do that through CRMs. You can do that manually if you really want to, but send them in batches. So 5 minutes between sends or 15 minutes between sends. Send them days apart if you really want to, but that staggered sending is really going to help your deliverability because it's going to see that you're not sending 1,000 emails at once. The other one is a warming up an email, and there's some tools out there to do this. So essentially, the tools out there.
Probably the best one I've found was Lemlist. They have this tool called Lemwarm. So when you sign up with Lemlist, it and this is a B2B outbound campaign thing, but it will send emails. So Lemwarm is a tool that will send emails between you and a number of other IP addresses. So you just get like this random email in your inbox that's Lemwarm, talking about random different things, and it just sends emails in between the two, and so it warms up that email for you.
Yeah, because it's going, oh, this person's opening the emails. This must be a good quality email. So, yeah, that's warming. You can find more out there around warming and whatnot. Do you want to talk about DNS?
One thing I'd say about warming up an email, though, is you can just do it naturally as well. If you're just starting out a business and you have a subscriber list of 10, just don't worry about warming up an email. Just send the 10 emails. You'll be fine. It's when it's usually companies that have a big following and then they want to use another domain to send emails, then they have to warm that up because they'll have like 10,000 contacts. DNS settings. So this is a really technical piece, but it's also really important to understand is that Google has a number of requirements to DNS settings, especially when you're using a tool such as MailChimp. And the thing is, MailChimp and those other tools for sending emails, they make their money off their emails being delivered and things actually working. So they have really good documentation around that. But warnings as well that pop up and say, hey, it looks like something's amiss here with your verification in your domain. Google doesn't like it. Here's how you fix it. Documentation. Really straightforward to work with. But one thing I'd say of caution is that a lot of small businesses get these IT companies to come in and set up their website and DNS and domains and things like that, and they don't have control of their DNS. And then when something happens, like it recently did where Google required you to update your DNS settings, so your emails didn't go to spam, you then have to go back to this company and either pay them more money or go on a waiting list to do it. So just make sure you have access to your DNS to do this manually. It's not hard. It's pretty easy to do, and there's plenty of documentation out there. And usually what will happen is MailChimp will have, you use GoDaddy for your DNS? Great. Here's exactly, with pictures, how you do it in GoDaddy. Yeah. This is exactly how you do it with any other hosting tool that's out there. So one thing you just need to do is that when you get that alert from your email provider saying your DNS isn't set up properly, don't fear it or think that it's too technical for you to deal with. Just spend a little bit of time to learn, do it, and you do it once and suddenly you'll learn a whole heap of things. So it's really important because if you have DNS setting mismatches, your emails are just soft bouncing all the time and they're going to end up straight into the spam folder or not even delivered at all and they won't even come through.
Yeah, exactly. And there's tools out there, which leads into my next point, like Postmaster by Google. So like I said, MailChimp's great for helping deliver and monitor opens and clicks and things like that. Postmaster by Google is actually going to tell you that domain authority and that spam rating and if your emails are bouncing before they actually hit the inbox. So it's free. You just go in, you like Abe said around DNS, you need to have access to your DNS settings because you need to prove that you own the domain. So if it's teamgate.com, for example, I did it the other day. I only just set it up. Took me about 5 minutes with not much, a little bit of technical knowledge, but again, the steps are there all step by step with videos and pictures and shows you how to do it. So tools like that are really, really important just to make sure you're first delivering the emails and then because there's not much point designing these marketing campaigns if your emails are bouncing straight out the gate. But again, for small businesses and the people listening, you shouldn't have these issues if you haven't run massive marketing campaigns in the past. So go and set up Postmaster, and you'll be fine.
Yeah, and I think if you're starting out with a small campaign list, very easy to grow up from there. Next one we're going to talk about is impact of AI. And look, I don't think we really need to harp on this for too long because people understand we've done enough. Yeah, ragged on it a lot. But don't get me wrong, I do use AI. I have used AI in the past for email campaigns. But what I have done is it's for a very specific ICP with a very specific problem that I'm trying to solve. And I want to come up with these very specific tailored emails. And so I've actually fed documents into ChatGPT and said, give me emails for this. I actually use this. I use this when we were marketing towards addiction recovery. And we had a number of journal articles, customer use cases, and things like that I fed into ChatGPT. And it actually gave me really good statistics and data points to utilize and put in those emails. And then that was my base. And I built off that to create really good emails that actually got demos booked and got responses. And so it's not all bad.
It's balance.
There's a balance. But people now, what they're doing is a lot of tools have like, oh, we've now got AI integrated. Just put in your ICP details and we'll generate really generic emails, really crap.
Yeah.
And just like you can straight away just go, this provides me zero value. No one's put any time into reviewing this. Time to delete and move on. So,
yeah. I'd say there's a big difference between what you did and what we're probably talking about. What you did is realistically, it was like data analysis and email template generation.
AI assisted emails, not
it's AI assisted,
emails.
not AI email marketing. Right? There's tools out there that are AI email marketing tools, and they'll say, oh, we'll send 5,000 emails a week and that sort of stuff. And that's where the issue is, because it's so generic, and it's landing in people like you and I's inbox where we're not even open to clicking on it. So it's just getting deleted. And I'm sure that these companies are probably telling you, oh, the open rates are great because, again, the viruses are going through the virus scanners and security settings are saying that they're being opened. But, click rates are probably garbage and whatnot. So it is making it harder, especially for cold email, because there's just so many tools out there now and so many emails are getting sent out. I get emails that are just completely nonsense. Like they're just not even relevant to. I don't even think they're actually addressed to me. They've just been sent by AI, and I'll be like, "What?" So, yeah, it's making it hard, and that's why if we take a step back, that personalization is really important, because the AI tools don't do it as well, especially in the B2C space. Nowhere near as well as like a Shopify or something like that. In the B2B space, there's not that much personalization going on anyway, so it's harder. But if you're being personal, you're going to stand out from that email flood, so to speak. But what else? What can we try other than email marketing?
Yeah, so when you look at alternatives, LinkedIn, InMail, voice notes, video, I have seen pretty good success with sending LinkedIn videos. So send a connection request, then send a video across. And I think the big reason why is because, and we've got a few data points on this, is the fact that videos can't be mass generated. The video always starts with, "Hi, Andrew." It's like it shows that it's personalized straight away. The first 2 seconds of that video, it's not like, "Hi, thanks for connecting." But it's not a standardized video. It's personal. By saying their name in a video, like, yeah, probably you could create something with AI, great, but you can just tell it's going to be personalized. And so videos, voice notes, clearly showing that it's something that's personalized to them. People genuinely see the value in that and want to make a human connection. So by doing that, I think it increases your ability to talk to people. But once again, got to be relevant. Otherwise, they'll watch it and go, "Righto, Andrew, piss off, mate."
Yeah, for sure. And I think a big thing is for people that do use LinkedIn, just don't pitch slap, like with a P.
Yeah.
Don't connect with someone and then smash them straight away. Like, that's my biggest pet peeve. If I accept your connection on LinkedIn and you pitch me 5 minutes later, generally I'm just going to ignore you. So, connect with a bunch of people. My general method is I'll spend a week going and finding my ICP and connecting with people I want to talk to. That'll be week 1. Week 2, I'll look at their content and maybe start reaching out. But usually it's in week 3, and I'll reach out about their content or about what they provide and their value provide. But that's LinkedIn. The other one is physical mail and gifting. So I've come up with some really good ideas recently that I want to test.
Do you want to share?
No, I don't want to share. But I'm going to be testing this out. what I will say is,
if it's a success, share it. If it's not, then just hide.
I shared it on Reddit the other day, and I got a lot of upvotes. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, mate, it's a Reddit. Google based its algorithm off Reddit, and it's telling people to make pizza with cyanide and shit.
Yeah, and jump off bridges if but what I'll say with physical mail, probably not as much in Australia, but definitely overseas, is it's becoming harder because of the work from home arrangements.
Yeah, dude.
So to get something in the hands of a decision maker is becoming a little bit more difficult. So just be wary of that. In Australia, obviously, it's a little bit more possible. So one good way to cut through the crap and cut through 300 emails in someone's inbox is to send a physical. We're going back 50 years. Is if you got a handwritten letter in the mail,
it's about standing out, right?
There's no way that AI could have generated that. If you get a gift in the mail, there's no way. Like it's been generated by a human. You know that there's a human on the other side that's sending that to you. So, yeah. Do you want to touch on your favorite?
Yeah, mate. The old dog and bone. Just jump on the phone. I put dog and bone down there. Andrew's like, "What are you talking about, mate?"
Yeah, I'm sorry, mate. I'm not that old.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, obviously. So just jumping on the phone. Once again, though, it's getting harder and harder to get a response from people from the phone because majority of people now with working from home, things like that, it's harder to get connections on the phone. But what I would say is that when you do make the connections, it's generally more effective if you have personalization in place. And not many people like getting on the phone and making sales calls because it can be quite confronting. And I think there's a good opportunity there for you to capitalize on that and be the company that makes phone calls, be the rep that calls people up, because not everyone likes it. So that's my thing as well. I think it's a great alternative there to just jump on the phone and call someone up.
It's on mute. It's funny. Yeah, it's funny how we seem to be going back in time, right? Like we're going back to the, how cold outreach sort of originated. So it's funny. Be interesting to see how AI changes the landscape as we continue.
With
to go
email
forward.
marketing, the same thing still applies to gifting, physical mail, jumping on the phone with someone. Like the same things still apply where you need to have personalization, you need to have clear goals, you need to be short and sharp to the point, you need to have a reason for being there. Like just because they're alternative methods doesn't mean all that goes out the window. Funnily enough, it's like the same principles, core principles go across all of it, and it goes across the whole of marketing is you've got to be relevant.
Yeah, you got to stand out. Otherwise, you're just another person calling someone on the phone when people are busy and they don't want to talk to you. So cool. Let's jump into questions submitted on socials. So I threw this one in. So this is an interesting one. So a good buddy of mine, Andrew West, has sent one through. Do you guys have a recommended reading list? I thought he'd listened to episode 10 where we spoke to Dylan about books, but he hadn't actually gotten up to that episode yet. He said, no, I'm only on episode 4 or 5, but you've mentioned a bunch of books. And I said, oh, okay, you make a pretty good point. We've mentioned a few books throughout the episode. So we don't yet, but we will be releasing a book list. We do have a website in progress. We're just very, very slow at getting it launched. But what we might do in the interim is create a reading list on Notion and share that link on our socials.
Well, what I think we do is for that launch of that reading list is let's do an episode on the reading list.
Yeah. Yeah, cool.
And so we'll say, hey, this is why you should read this book. Short summary, pros and cons, what you take away from it, things like that, right? So it's not just hey, here's a reading list.
Who's it relevant to?
Who should be reading this? Why you should read it? Things like that. Like if you're in sales, you should be reading this book. If you're in this, you should be reading this book. But thank you so much for highlighting that, Andrew. And maybe, you never know, we might get featured on a Brothers and Books reading list or something like that, right?
The Beers and Business. Well, that's what I said. I said to Wes, I was like, oh, do you mean Brothers and Books reading list? He goes, who? I was like, that's when I realised he hadn't been to that episode yet. So, Brothers and Books do have a bunch of reading lists. And again, theirs is categorised down to who should be reading this. So, maybe once we release
Look, I recommend supporting Brothers and Books.
We'll have our own as well.
Yeah, we'll definitely put one out there. I think it's an important piece. Thank you for that, and we'll share that. I think it's a good episode topic.
To small business and different roles within small business. So, Good question, Westy. Thanks for sending that one through, and we'll get it to you in the next couple of weeks when we launch that episode.
All right, and
Wrap us up, mate. We're
Two
almost
beers
at the
down
90
today.
minute mark. Yeah, we are.
Saturday.
So
Look
am
at us
I.
go.
Saturday at 10 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Like on
Oi,
the playing footy today.
time to go and mow the lawns, mate, and look at them
Yeah.
longingly.
I might go play golf.
Couple of beers deep, go smash another 10, mate. You'll be fine.
No,
Get the flu out of you.
not today. I got footy tomorrow.
No, I've got to go and take my son to soccer. So,
Enjoy that. Enjoy that.
have some mouthwash beforehand, mate. Otherwise, everyone will judge me. It's 11 o'clock. This guy's turn. All right. So, like and subscribe. Business Pod across all your socials. Instagram. Andrew started TikTok. Man, we got like 200 views in a video
200
and he's
views.
going wild.
Boom.
Whoa, big dog.
2:30, I think.
Oh, look out. It's because Dylan's on there,
I'm a
mate.
TikTok influencer now. I might leave, start doing dances or something.
YouTube, Facebook, all that stuff. We got to come along. I need to get back on top of Instagram content since I moved. I've been a bit slack. Habit broken. I'll get back
Not
into
good
it.
enough. Not good
We'll
enough.
be on. Questions, topics. Andrew West, thank you for the reading list. All right, we'll take that advice on and we'll make it. So if you want to see something from us, or if you want us to talk about something, let us know and we'll get that done. Podcast Tuesday 10 a.m. weekly, YouTube, Spotify, and now also on the Apple podcast. So get onto that as well if you're an Apple podcast. I listen to all my podcasts on Apple, so sort of made sense to go there. So we're there now, so across all three platforms, and tune in to the next episode Tuesday 10 a.m.
Awesome. We'll see you guys there. Cheers to another
Cheers.
good week.